pimp, not a simp. A pimp, not a simp. A pimp, not a simp. We eat so many shrimp. I got iodine partners.
My bitch a choosing lover, never fuck without a rubber. Never in the sheets like it on top of the cover. Money on the dresser, drive a compressor. Top notch hoes, get the most, not the lesser. Trash like the fuck for $40 in the club. Fucking up the game, bitch, it gets no love. She be cross country, giving all that she got. 1,000 a pop, I'm pulling business off the lot. I smashed up the gray one, bought me a red. Every time we hit the parking lot, we turn head. Some hoes wanna choose, but them bitches too scary. Your bitch chose me, you ain't a pimp, you a fairy.
A pimp, not a simp. A pimp, not a simp. A pimp, not a simp. We eat so many shrimp. I got iodine partners.
Hey everybody, almost ready. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Hope you've been doing well. Hope everything's going good. And already something is messing up. Oh, that's right. I'm on the wrong freaking scene because I'm an idiot. There we go. Hey, that's much better. How are you guys? I told myself I wasn't going to stream today, but I felt like I had to after dealing with Sabir. Because I actually had some extra innings with him after the stream last night. And, of course, he's going to be dishonest about himself. But I really feel like I needed to put his ego in check. Because this guy, he's more than just a believer. He's a guru. He's a guy who thinks he knows what he's talking about when it comes to the law. And also, you know, has the ego where, you know, my dad taught me this saying, like, he walks around like his shit don't stink. Like, he's got, has that kind of ego. So, what I found, or what Andrew found for me, so shout out to you, Andrew Rovers. I remember a long time ago watching a few of these videos. There are about 7 videos that he has, about 10 minutes long each, where he goes through Pennsylvania statutes about the traffic laws. And as you would expect, they're all the whole right to travel, corporation, commercial activity type of John. So I am going to try and go through 2, maybe 3 of them, so about half an hour, and then I'll save the remainder for part 2. I don't want this to go too long. So I'm going to listen. You know, you'll listen in. It's a little bit more boring. It's a little bit more dry. It's not as exciting as courtroom audio. It's not as exciting as a Windows getting smashed. But this is about, you know, some guy who thinks he knows what he's talking about with the law and charges people or accepts donations for spreading this knowledge to the gullible and the desperate. So I feel like it has to be addressed, at least in some form. So
this is what Councilman Kenny asked. It says those 4. It talks about solely only for those 4 areas: unregistered, suspended, or registration, or unlicensed, or suspended license. Are you permitted to take the car? This is the question. If the person cannot produce an auto insurance proof that that is not grounds for removing the vehicle.
I think he's reading from a transcript because the problem is the video started like practically mid-sentence, but I think he's reciting a transcript from a hearing.
Judge Perry said no. Correct. Judge Perry said correct. There's not grounds for taking the car if they don't have those things. Mm-hmm. This is the meeting that they had, but it's not public.
Oh, it's not public, eh? I wonder why. Maybe because I think it's made up, and I'll show you in a bit.
It's a scam that's going on. Everything that they're doing, they only targeting certain areas when they're doing this. And then it also goes into Morano asked the question. That's right. If your car gets confiscated for one of those 4 infractions, they're not criminal acts. All moving violations are infractions. That's all they are. Breaches of contracts.
And like as you already they're not criminal actions. Well, I think in Pennsylvania they are treated as criminal actions. And also he goes into the whole contract thing. But
they never teach people that they're contracts.
Well, Neice, if Sabir Root Words, if Sabir's live now, that's fine. I mean, he knows where to find me.
But this is the case. I mean, the meeting that they had. And then they also was talking about how it wouldn't cost the city 10 cents to do it when they started implementing it. But see, people need to have the motor vehicle law book to actually find out, can they do that? Now, what they taking the vehicle, what they claiming to take the vehicle under is Title 63.
Yeah.
6309, which is, where's 6309 at? Now, I'm going to read to you what it is in this book.
And which book is that?
This is the Pennsylvania Motor Vehicle Law.
Okay.
Uh-huh. By the way, this was recorded in 2009.
And they have this in the courtroom, believe me, man. They have this in the courtroom. 6309.2. Immobilization and towing and storage of a vehicle for driving without operating privileges, right?
Yeah. Now listen to what he says here. Listen to what he says here.
And then it goes on, if a person operates a motor vehicle or a combination on the highway or traffic ways of this Commonwealth while a person's operating privileges is suspended, revoked, or canceled, recalled, or disqualified, or an other person's is unlicensed as verified, appropriate law enforcement officer in cooperation with the department, the law enforcement...
Or actually, you know what? What I'm going to do here is I'm going to go back to recite it, go back to where he quotes it, and then we're going to see it happen live as you're reading.
But see, people need to have the motor vehicle law book to actually find out, can they do that? Now, what they're taking the vehicle, what they claiming to take the vehicle under is Title 63.
So
6309.
6309, which is 6309.2, which is what you're seeing on the screen right now.
In this book.
And which book is that?
This is the Pennsylvania Motor Vehicle Law.
Okay.
And they have this in the courtroom, believe me, man. They have this in the courtroom. 6309.2.
Yeah.
Immobilization and towing and storage of a vehicle for driving without operating privileges, right? And then it goes on, if a person operates a motor vehicle or a combination on the highway or traffic ways of this Commonwealth while a person's operating privileges is suspended, revoked, or canceled, recalled, or disqualified, or an other person's is unlicensed as verified, appropriate law enforcement officer in cooperation with the department, the law enforcement officer shall immobilize the vehicle. Appropriate judicial authority shall...
Wait, what happened, Sabir?
That's the way they're supposed to do it. Immobilize don't mean take.
Wait, I'm sorry. He skipped a few bits of language, guys. He said, shall immobilize the vehicle, and the appropriate judicial authority shall be so notified. He missed this part, though, which says, or combination, or in the interest of public safety, direct that the vehicle be towed and stored by the appropriate towing and storage agent pursuant to subsection C, and the appropriate judicial... So he just basically skipped over the part where an officer can tow your vehicle for violating these infractions that he listed. So he's already being dishonest here by omitting that part of the statute.
It means to stop it. You remember they used to tell you to get out your car yet? You just said that the last time, remember? Right. Yeah. That's what they're supposed to do. You're supposed to stop it, and that's due process, and then you have a hearing on it.
Right.
They don't do that because they know people is not reading this. That's one of them.
And people aren't calling you out on your bullshit. You don't expect somebody like me or other debunkers or people who are paying attention to actually call you out and read up on your bullshit. You assume that your audience isn't going to double check your work.
There's only two ways they can take the car. Now this is the second one, just for those that may be looking and say, well, they quoting 6309.1. Where's their ticket at? That's their ticket. This is their tickets, right? On the back of their tickets, they have all the citations
Hang on.
that they will give you on the back of here. But on here, they only have a couple of them. 6308 they got on here. 1606 they got on here. 1501.
Okay, he's now citing a ticket that somebody apparently got.
Looking to say, well, they quoting 6309.1. Where's that ticket at?
Well, if it's 6309.1, and we can go right there. 6309.1. Impoundment for non-payment of fines. Oh. So it's the fact that you didn't pay your fines. You didn't pay your court fees. That's totally different from if you're stopped and then you're caught with driving on a suspended license or driving with without registration. So it's a separate issue there. It's not the same thing as 69.02, or excuse me, 63092. But again, this is an example of him either being willfully dishonest or he doesn't actually know as much as he thinks he does.
Yeah, ticket. This is their tickets, right? On the back of their tickets, they have all the citations that they will give you on the back of here. But on here, they only have a couple of them. 6308 they got on here. 1606 they got on here. 1501 and 6308 and 1311. This is on the back of any ticket that they give you, right? Now, I'm showing to tie everything in on what they're doing to people. Now, 6309.1 says impoundment for non-payment of fines. Vehicles...
Fines, not for the infractions.
With a gross
non-payment of fines.
17,000 pounds or less. Who got a... How much a car weigh? That sound like a truck, don't it?
Okay, does he not know what 17,000 pounds or less means? Or less. 17,000 pounds or less. So that would qualify every passenger vehicle out there.
It sound like a truck. It says a weight of 70,000 pounds or less. So which one are they charging people? Then it's another one, 6309 period. So when they give people tickets, which one are they quoting? 6309.2, 6309.1, or 630.9? So the other 630.9 says impoundment of a paint for
17,000 pounds or over.
Fines for vehicles combination gross weight rated at 17,001 pounds or more.
So a commercial truck.
Don't no car weigh that much. That's a tractor trailer or a truck or a bus.
So he thinks 17,000 pounds or less, and the one saying 17,000 pounds or more, both means 17,000 pounds or more.
Something like that. It has nothing to do with your private vehicle.
Most of those motor vehicle laws is referring to
commercial vehicles.
Right.
And this is why I had this set up over here, because in this is from a law dictionary, and it talks about
oh, here we go.
Motor carriers, and it talks about the city having the right to regulate the streets by motor vehicles for hire, and the issue.
Well, here's the problem, dude. And again, this goes to show his over-reliance on legal dictionaries, and it's asinine, because guess what happens? You go to Title 75, which deals with vehicles, right? And title, registration, or licensing of drivers, Chapter 15, commercial drivers, Chapter 16. If the licensure of drivers was only applicable to people driving commercially, why do they have a distinction there? Why do they have two chapters there that says one's for drivers and one's for commercial drivers? Anybody with any modicum of comprehension would understand that there's two categories of drivers that are required to have a license: commercial and non-commercial. Guess which one you qualify as? Non-commercial. And then again, he goes to cite a law dictionary because he knows, and this is where I think he's being willfully dishonest. He, instead of going to the definitions under the statute, which is what he was citing earlier, right? He goes into a law dictionary, an old law dictionary. Because I think he knows that this distinction exists in the Pennsylvania statute. So if he truly read this, then he knows that this exists, and he knows he's full of shit, and he knows he's lying to his audience. Moving on.
Issuance of a license being permission. This is out of a law dictionary.
And with the
oh wow, I don't care.
This is from a Black's Law Dictionary.
Black's Law.
You know, it says a license is a mere privilege. If the license is operating motor vehicles, a mere privilege and not a contract property right. So everybody keeps saying it's a contract. It's not a contract. It's a contract property right. So I issued it to you so you can work for me. So that's how I become the privilege or the permission. Because now what am I doing? I have to give back to the roads when I tear the road up. So that's why you pay the tax. So you know the license is nothing but a tax. So now if I'm using the road to tear up the road, I have to give something back to the city.
Because of that weight.
Exactly, because you tearing up. Now watch who's violating this every day. You got cops sitting on the pavements, you know, laziness, sitting there clicking lights, and if you see them pull up on the pavements, they supposed to pay all that. They supposed to have licenses, but they tell you that you're supposed to have it.
Yeah, you are.
And they're taking people's property without due process. And there's like mad case laws, man, that I have on that. Where's that case laws at? And it talks about.
Hey Virgo, I'm sorry I didn't say hi yet. Gary, Richard, thanks for becoming a member, man. Really appreciate it. Schrodinger, thanks for the shout out.
How they couldn't take the car without having a hearing. If I can find it in these piles.
Ow.
What about if a person don't have a driver's license?
The thing is that I'm very careful about telling people not to have the driver's license because I know how ignorant the police are.
And here's his get out of jail free card. Here's where he tries to get out of that sticky situation. Well, I mean, you know, you don't actually need a license to drive, but I don't tell people not to get a license because, you know, the cops are being ignorant.
Right. People need to be educated on this type of information, have the motor vehicle law book, so if you do or don't have the license, you know how to go in and challenge them. Because they have this book. When you go to traffic court, they have this book. You can quote every section in here. And actually, it has by definitions inside. It has definitions in this book also. And now I'm just run off a couple of definitions they got. It says passenger, a motor vehicle except a motorcycle designed primarily for the transportation of persons, designed for carrying no more than 15 passengers. This is a passenger vehicle. You're just not going to see the definition of regular passenger. Passenger vehicle, what do? They pay fare.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay. So again, he relies heavily on not going to the definitions that are explicitly there in the vehicle code because, again, I tell a lot of these sovereign citizens, it doesn't matter what's said in a Black's Law Dictionary. The definitions as defined by the state's legislature, such as Section 102, or they take precedence over anything that's written in a law dictionary. So I guess apparently Pennsylvania is deciding to change definitions in like the next year and a half. So let's go to the ones that are currently effective right now, effective until December 28th. So let's go to driver. A person who drives or is in actual physical control of a vehicle. Oh, wow. Wait, I thought they were, you know, there's no caveat there that they have to be commercial or they're for hire. Interesting. Let's go to motor vehicle. This is a good one. Motor vehicle, a vehicle which is self-propelled except an electric personal assisted mobility device, or a vehicle which is propelled solely by human power. Oh, wow, I don't see the caveat saying that a motor vehicle is inherently commercial involved, so that's not good. Person, a natural person, and in most common parlance, a natural person means flesh and blood human being. Shocker. So, guess what? You're a person, whether you like it or not, sovereign citizens. And then finally, let's go to vehicle, because we want to be fucking thorough about this, don't we? Every device in, upon, or by which any person or property is or may be transported or drawn upon a highway, except devices used exclusively upon rails or tracks. Term does not include a self-propelled wheelchair or an electric mobility device operated and designed for the exclusive use of a person with a mobility-related disability. So, guess what?
Don't they? It's a commercial activity. You won't see regular passenger in this book. Motor carrier.
Damn it.
It's a motor carrier.
This entire time, I didn't have it displayed on yet for you. Shit. I'm not good at that yet. I apologize. Growing pains with presentation. I should have had that displayed for you guys as I was reading it. Damn it.
Combination gross weight, registered gross weight exceeds 17,000 pounds. That's motor carrier vehicle. Motor vehicle. A vehicle which is self-propelled except one which is propelled solely by human power or by electric power obtained from overhead trolley wires. Which one do you have? That's all you have in here. So which one everybody having?
Motor vehicle.
Which one? The motor vehicle, motor carry vehicle, motor vehicle, or which one?
Motor vehicle, you idiot.
You'll find in the book. So don't think that these attorneys, these judges, they don't know this, because to be a judge, I know in the Commonwealth, you have to study Title 75, Title 42, and
No, Richard, your wheelchair is not a vehicle.
Title 18.
And that's why you need to be a judge?
Yeah. The administrative judges, traffic court. So they have to read this book. So if I'm sitting there and I know this, and that's why I couldn't be the judge. I mean, I would have this book sitting there and be like, wait a minute, analyze this for a minute. No, they don't have that. They don't have this.
Motor vehicle.
Dismiss.
This guy really thinks that that's what's going to happen?
Not guilty. See? But now, we were just talking about liens, right? He even talks about liens in this book. It says, owner, a person other than a lien holder having the property right and a title to a vehicle. Other than the lien holder. Because you could have your wife being a lien holder.
Wait, what the hell?
Not guilty.
Hold on.
See? But now, we were just talking about liens, right? He even talks about liens in this book. It says, owner, a person other than a lien holder having the property right and a title to a vehicle.
Right. Okay. Yeah. A lien holder is not an owner.
Other than the lien holder. Because you could have your wife being a lien holder and you could be the occupier.
Owner!
But now, if they were to take your car, they have to contact the lien holder.
Why?
They can't sell the car without till the lien is released.
Well, yes, you're right. If there is a lien on your car, then you're right. The cops can't sell the car at auction once it's impounded because they have an initial interest in it.
See? It's interest. Just like they can do it on your house. If you owe a water bill, they can put a lien.
You're right. I'm an idiot. Lien holder. Yeah.
Against your house. Can't do anything, right? Until you satisfy the lien, right? Same thing you can do with your car is to put the lien against the car.
And then he thinks that by putting a lien on the car... Yeah, right, the Matrix. I mean, who are you? I'm shilling for who? Matrix. Who am I shilling for?
And
he thinks putting a lien on the car will prevent it from what? Getting impounded?
They have to contact the lien holder in order to release the lien. So you could say the car can be worth, let's say, $3,000. You can say I want $10,000 for the vehicle.
I mean, I wish I could shill for G Fuel Alpha.
Now what happens? You're setting yourself up to get compensated for your property being taken. That's how you set it up. It's very simple.
AK Sabir Bey is live right now and said come on his live and prove him wrong. I'm sorry, I'm not interested in coming on his. I came on his last night. If he wants to join in, let me know. If he wants to provide his Gmail, Gmail, and we can do a Google Hangouts. Let him know.
So that's why I said, rather we have the license or not and don't have the license, they can still never have jurisdiction. It's because the ignorance of the people, they don't know. Rather, I know where I'm at and I know who I'm dealing with. So I can deal with or without it. So what we got to do is start exposing that. And these people in traffic court, that's why when you sometimes people go to fill off in traffic court, they get, as soon as you get out of traffic court and move it to common pleas court, they throw the case out.
Why?
Because some people
When?
are tied up. See what I'm saying? They may tie this up and have it going on and on. Because I used to go in the courtroom and quote every section out of the book. And they used to have
So he's claiming he went to courtroom and quoted every section in the book, huh?
I know the DA for PennDOT, they carry a yellow one.
I know, right, James? I mean, I love cider that much. I wish I could have a sponsor, a cider sponsor.
But it's the same book. So I would quote every section in here inside the court, because now we are in a court of records. Traffic court is not court of record. So they can say what they want to say. It could be a stenographer, it could be a tape. So usually that's why when you go to traffic court,
A traffic court that's a traffic court, or excuse me, a court that's not of record does not mean that the judge can do whatever the fuck they want and find you guilty regardless of the circumstances.
they can say what they want to say. Shut up. What? Guilty.
No, that's no.
So when you go in there, say, I want an appeal. I don't even want to be in here. I want an appeal. I want to get it moved to common pleas court. Get it out of there. So now
Now we're on part 2.
you're doing is setting up so you can ask these type of questions. So we can say, look, you're in total violation of the motor vehicle law. And then, like I said,
Yeah, right. The Matrix, I mean, again, to your second account, it depends on what state you're in. In New Jersey, traffic court is its own animal. It's not criminal, but it's also certainly not civil either. I know that in Arizona, I know that in other jurisdictions, traffic court is civil, but other states have it as either criminal or quasi-criminal. So you're wrong there.
99% of the people not having this book.
I know it's quasi-criminal in New Jersey.
People are not really taught this.
It's a weird situation in New Jersey.
They just think it's law.
Yeah.
And never really read up on it.
But you think about it though, it is a statutory law, but it's not law. See, it's the law. This book
And now he's going to the idea that statutory law is not law.
right here. Yeah. 10% of the people not having this book.
Yeah, and people are not really taught this basic understanding, because most people don't understand. They just think it's law.
Yeah.
And never really read up on it.
But you think about it though, it is a statutory law, but it's not law.
It is law. Statutes are a form of law. I know, right, Tegan? Statutes are a form of law, the same way as a published judicial opinion is considered law, or in other words, a binding precedent is considered law, or a form of law. A regulation has the force of law. An executive order. Sorry to you anti-maskers, but an executive order can have the force of law.
See, it's the law. This book right here, this is just for me, just talking even to like the state police. They know that something's going on. They know about the city. They know that the city, and that's why I said people really need to start researching all this stuff and charging people under the RICO law. Everything you need is on.
Oh my God, RICO!
On the title, and actually this is old because
RICO.
Side of taken from the motor vehicle law. Also, this is. Where's the front part of this?
Mikey, I am licensed to practice in New York and New Jersey.
What this?
Since 2010. I cannot believe it's been 10 years.
Yeah.
I know, he says,
Come on, man.
I can't see shit, Captain. There we go.
Where from?
Okay.
Motor vehicle and Bureau of Driver License.
Okay. So this is the book, right? So this is the definition. It says lien. It says a lien. Security interest in a vehicle to secure unpaid debt owned by the owner to the lien holder. Lien holder, a person holding a lien on a vehicle.
Okay.
So everybody that gets a certificate of title never puts a lien on their vehicle.
What?
That's the only thing.
Why? That's stupid.
This is just some stuff that I put.
It doesn't even make sense. Why would I put a lien on my own fucking car? It's my car.
Together as far as you know, as far as people who wanted to actually have this, because I gave this out. This was a while ago.
Matrix, the lawyer's duty is to the court in the sense of I am not going to commit unethical acts in furtherance of my client's interests. I am not going to commit illegal acts in furtherance of my client's interests. That's what that means, you ass clown.
And this talks about absolute title, but it talks about title to land. It's just little small stuff that I put together.
So you need to put a lien on yourself or against your
property.
Your property?
Yeah, you gotta claim it.
Oh, and claiming is with a lien?
Yeah, the claim is the lien. That's why I was showing a certificate of title.
Mm-hmm.
On the bottom of every, I don't care what state you're in, on the bottom of the title, it always says lien holder and a component.
Oh my fucking god. Oh, I'm sorry, Matrix. That's not what that means. You tell me, how do you get your information? I'm the one. I don't like to pull the whole I have a degree thing, but I'm the one who took the professional ethics exam. I'm the one who's been a practicing attorney. I think the burden's on you to prove me wrong.
What happens, you got to look up every word to actually find out what they're talking about. But nobody does that. And when you get a title, we always fill out the back part. But I know in Pennsylvania, on the back of any certificate of title, it says, if you're not a registered dealer, Section D.
Yeah, I know Sabir had this whole sort of thing about herder practicing law is different from performing law, which, again, is your typical asinine word magic that sovereign citizens love to employ.
On the front should be filled in. If you grab a title, you'll see it on there. It's right there. But nobody fills out the front. So now what happens, you're committing fraud now by saying that you're a registered dealer.
So because because I didn't put myself as a lien holder on my own car, I am somehow the registered dealer, and I'm committing fraud.
You're not a registered dealer. So, like I said, they're betting on you not knowing none of this information.
Oh my fucking god! All right, I'll give me 1 second while I get something set up in the background. I'll let this play. I promise I'll let this play again while I get it initially set up. But Matrix, you got to be put in your place. Hold on a second here. You fucking idiot. Where is it? There it is. Okay. And then... 1 second. I apologize again. There we go.
But I got my book is kind of beat up, but this is Title 75. Damn, this book is done. You looking? Any questions, man? Anybody?
Tell them about the all caps on the driver's license.
Oh, we ain't go there, man. That's another story, though. That's commerce. That's they wouldn't even get there. Like you always say, they'd be like, huh? What do you mean? That's a grammar thing right there. He's talking about the all caps on your driver's license and birth certificates, because they're not really talking about you. They're talking about commerce. It's commerce.
Of course, he goes into the fucking commerce thing. But here we go. Black's Law. And let's go to, guess what? I mean, I'm entertaining your Black's Law BS. So don't worry about it, man. All right. Legal assets. Legacy. Where is it? Legal. And I'm going to zoom in for you guys here. Conforming to the law, according to the law, required or permitted by law, not forbidden or discounts by law, good and effectual in law. 6. Lawful, of or pertaining to law. But let's go to lawful then.
$5 a month.
$5 a month. Thank you very much, Trevor. Let's go to lawful. And so let's go and see. That's what it was. It was in lawful, not necessarily legal. And I promise I'll continue on afterwards. But Mr. Matrix here needs to have a lesson. God, I sound just like him. I retract that. Where is it? I saw it this morning, or this afternoon. Dios mío. Lawful. There we go. Lawful. Legal. The very first word in the definition of lawful is legal. Okay, next. The principal distinction between terms lawful and legal is that the former contemplates the substance of law, the latter the form of law. To say that an act that it is lawful implies that it is not authorized, sanctioned, or at any rate not forbidden by law. To say that it is legal implies that it is done or performed in accordance with the forms and usages of law or in a technical manner. In this sense, illegal approaches the meaning of invalid. For example, a contract or will executed without the required formalities might be said to be invalid or illegal, but could not be described as unlawful. Further, the word lawful more clearly implies an ethical content than does legal. The latter goes further than to denote compliance with positive, technical, or more formal rules, while the former usually imports a moral substance or ethical permissibility. A further distinction is that the word legal is used as a synonym of constructive, which lawful is not. Thus, legal fraud is fraud implied or inferred by law or made out by construction. Legal fraud would be a contradiction of terms. Lawful fraud would be a contradiction of terms. Again, legal is used as the antithesis of equitable. Thus, we speak of legal assets, legal estate, etc., but not of the lawful assets or lawful estate. But there are some connections in which the two words are used as exact equivalents. Thus, a lawful writ, warrant, or process is the same as a legal writ or warrant or process. So, shut the fuck up with this whole legal, not lawful distinction bullshit. There is distinctions specifically depending on the context, but generally when it comes to laws and operating in accordance of their duties, legal and lawful are indistinguishable. Shut the fuck up. Yeah, right, with a $4.99 super chat, volume 7, section 4 of what? The Corpus Juris Secundum? That's Sabir's favorite thing. Attorney and client, the attorney's first duty is to the courts and to the public, not to the client who uses Black's law. Okay. All right. Anyhow. Back to the magic.
You know, that's all it is. But people got to get the basic fundamentals, because we have an issue of not what we have on a license, it's what they're doing to the people by taking their property. That's what we're talking about. Like the bogus, I mean, like you were saying, Dave, the stuff that's going on in traffic court, like, I go down there, man, I'll be like, gosh, if they just knew what is going on, and they run them through. They got the you know, your license suspended, no problem, come on over here. Yep. You know, instead of start complaining to the state attorney general. All right, here's the definition of a dealer. It says, It got two definitions too of driver, and it has dealer. It says a dealer is a person engaged in business of buying and selling and exchanging of vehicles. That's a dealer. So now, if you read it, it says, if you're not a registered dealer,
they're afraid of being
section D on the front should be filled in.
Hey, thank you for the $9.99 super chat. You know, I don't really care if you're calling me out. If you're going to send me money, I don't give a shit. I already debunked you in terms of legal and lawful.
Because they're committing fraud against you. And there's no statute of limitation on fraud. So what happens is that when you fill it out, you're telling that you're a registered dealer. And you're not. So that's how they get you. So you should always fill out the front part of the title, which is here. Always fill this part out. This actually, I think this was mine. This was mine. So this was mine, and I got it notarized right here. And what happened, I had the interest in the vehicle. So now, if they was to take the vehicle, I could charge them under racketeering. I say it again.
Racketeering. The fact that they impounded your vehicle, you're going to charge them with racketeering.
Theft of a motor vehicle. You taking my car off the street. This is how you can tie them up, but nobody takes that level. So we go to an attorney. The attorney stop you from even going to that point. Oh no, we work something out over here. We'll do this. We'll do that. They're stopping you. And what happens? They do more damage to our people in general, than any good, because they're not telling people this. But we'll kick out $2,000 just to beat a case that probably is $200. But you're spending more. It's like a cycle. Any questions? Don't bring up no man. No grammar stuff, man. Pertaining to motor vehicle law, man.
Tell them about the searches and seizures without a warrant.
Oh wow, that's in Title 18 too. Damn, that's in Title 18 also. You can just say that searches and seizures. They can't search you and seize it. Damn, look at this. This is what an application.
Yes, they can search.
Oh, this book got everything in it, but it ain't this Title 75, man. This has this is what they supposed to look like when they come.
Okay.
This is the layout.
All right, Matrix, you want another one? I'll give you another one. Fine. I'll give you another one. All right. An attorney's duties to client. An attorney's paramount duty is to his client. An attorney owes his client duties falling into three broad. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said an attorney's duties was to the court and public and not to the client. This is American Jurisprudence, 2nd edition. Now, this is an encyclopedia, just like Corpus Juris Secundum. But which one's right? Right? So yeah, please shut the fuck up about this whole attorney's duties thing. You're embarrassing yourself. Moving on. Playing again.
I think this is Title 18. This is what it's supposed to look like, man. There's a couple pages. Search warrants. This is the probable cause piece. This is what they're supposed to give you this when they come in your house. They just bogart and come in your house.
And take your car.
Huh?
And take your car.
Yeah, take your car and all that. But like I said, there's a procedure. What happens if, let's say, even though we know that we're dealing with criminals, I know that I'm dealing with criminals. So rather I roll my window down, they'll try to break the window. You know what I mean? Like I said, you can get them again on highway robbery, threat. That's it's a threat of your life. All this. If you get out your car, they ask you a question sometimes. Really, state police officers do. They say, "Can I search your car?" If you pay attention, state police ask you that. Local police don't ask you that. See what I'm saying? But people don't know that you can say, "Hold up, man, you can't search my car."
Right.
You know what I mean? But I tell people that even though I know that they're gangsters, that's why I say get a tape recorder, get on the phone with somebody, start recording it, sit it between your seat. All these different things that we can start doing to protect ourselves because they're a total violation. Myself, I tell people to get on the phone and call 911. See, because
$3.99 Juilliard versus Greeman. All right.
They look like the police. They might be undercover because I'm kind of scared. They behind me. He stay on the phone with me. I put the joint on speaker and all that, Jack. I'll be like, hold on 1 second, boom. I have 911 on the phone with me right now, so.
I don't know why you're trying to cite to me the legal tender cases, but okay. I have no idea what relevance they have, but sure. I thank you very much for the $3.99 super chat, and thank you for the $3.99 super chat saying Sabir is a fraud, because he is.
I know what's going on. So now, if what happens if they grab your phone, what they gonna do? They grab the phone, isn't it being recorded? So now when you go to court, well, no matter what they do to you, it's being recorded. So that tape can be subpoenaed inside the courtroom. Cause now everything being taped with 911. So you can say, I want that tape to be subpoenaed. Somebody taped it. But you also have a backup too. Have a tape recording if you see.
And even if they take it and break the phone and throw it away, it's still recorded to that point.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, if I was to treat this like as a legal like OnlyFans, I'd be like, $3.99 super chat, and I will read you from my Anglo-American tradition textbook in ASMR style.
Exactly, because what happens, I've known stuff that people hang the phone up and somebody call 911, you may be arguing with somebody and you hang the phone and they know exactly where it's at, trace it, have it there. They do that all the time. It's recorded. So now you got two types of way to record it. You're going to tape it yourself. You're going to call 911. Especially if it's an undercover cop. I just want to ask you some questions. What are you pulling me over for? No, you can't search my car. See what I'm saying? They can get in so many jams right now because people recording everything. Now you got the police that's got the cameras in the car now. Record. I just seen them pull this girl off a bike. And she's riding on a pavement. And they pulled off a bike. Now the camera in the car is taping all this. It's catching it. Somebody took it and put it on YouTube.
So they make a
hot, uncensored legal opinions.
People could just search you if they can stop you and search you if they think that you have something.
They can't.
He was trying to do something.
See, the thing about it, he cannot do that. That's not law. It's not lawful. See what I'm saying? Nutter cannot. And when you study the Home Rule Charter, Nutter cannot do none of this stuff. That's not the mayor's job. The mayor have to go coincide with the state constitution, which he took an oath on. The governor, then from the governor, you're dealing with the Supreme Court, you're dealing with the Constitution.
I know, right?
Nutter can't pass. He can pass resolutions, which is not law, and ordinances is not law.
They are law. Oh God, I think that was one where I was recently trying to get after Sabir on a couple weeks ago, where he kept on insinuating that ordinances were not law. They are law, just the same as the statute's a law, just as the same as a regulation is a law or has the force of law. An ordinance is a law that's passed by a municipality.
Neither one of those things are laws.
They are.
That's the only thing that Nutter can do. And he can only pass it, any city can only pass those things pertaining to the municipalities. So now, if you're saying you live within a municipality, you live in the city of Philadelphia or in the city of wherever you at, you're subject to the rules, regulations of the ordinances.
Yeah.
But people know the difference. They say the city of what? Well, I don't live in the city of Philadelphia. I live in Philadelphia County. Which one?
You're in both. You're in Philadelphia County, or was it? Is Philadelphia County in Pennsylvania? You guys tell me. You're in both. You are simultaneously in the jurisdiction of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, the county of Philadelphia, if that's a county, and the city of Philadelphia. You are subject to the laws, rules, and regulations of all three.
So, why is this here?
Matrix Revolution's giving me a $49 super chat. Just stopped in to say Artie, LOL, still leading the blind.
Being held accountable. P. Barnes.
I feel like you're probably going to charge back, which I don't care about. I mean, do what you're going to do. I'll laugh if you're not able to do a chargeback, but yeah.
It don't say City of Philadelphia do it. It says Philadelphia County, doesn't it? So what's the difference between the two? See? So they have to coincide with what the state says. So there's a difference between the city of Philadelphia and Philadelphia County. Two difference. So even this, and this is from,
One is a corporation.
Exactly.
And now we're getting into the whole corporation thing.
This is the procedures of sales of a motor vehicle. And this is what they do right here. They talk, A notice shall be sent to regular mail with a certificate of mailing and also by certified mail return request. It's before they sell your car. This is what they do. And they quoting right here 6309 and 6309.1. So I showed you the two, 6309 and 6309.2. This joint general court regulation set forth procedures to the following of implementing of section 6309 and 6309.1.
Okay.
To certify the rights and responsibilities of various parties involved in the impoundment process,
Yeah.
which may lead to the sale of impoundment of a motor vehicle and
Right.
the transfer of the same title.
I know, right? If he's using my credit card number to pay me.
Being held accountable. P Barnes.
Another $49.99 super chat from Matrix. Peace and love, everyone. You will receive every penny. Wake up, peace.
Right here. It's a procedure.
Again, I mean, dude, it's your money. You do whatever the hell you want with it. But I would not be surprised if I saw a chargeback from these things. So it is what it is.
They go to. So now, they're supposed to immobilize the vehicle,
All you're doing is helping me make the stream better. So
have a hearing, and then they come back, and then they're supposed to take the car. So what they're doing, they're automatically taking the car, holding the car for ransom, and making you pay.
well, they're holding the car until you're able to pay the fines, which is one reason why they impounded it, or provide proof of registration, insurance, and a valid driver's license. Or they're going to sell the car at auction. That's on you. If you want to describe it as a ransom, I mean, I guess fine. I mean, you're also the guy that thinks that you can employ a RICO act against public officials for doing their jobs.
Ransom to get your car out.
Post it if I retract the funds. Fair. All right. Fair enough.
There are people feeling guilty. Oh man, I gotta go down there. I'll be like, yo, y'all don't get it. Buy some books, man. Spend some money on these books. You know, this book is about $60. You can save yourself probably $200 or $300 if you bought the book and just put your head in the book. And it's better. So wait a minute, and stir up so much inside these courtrooms.
Hey, Doug. I'm drinking the Jackie Daytona, the quadruple IPA, dry hop with Vic Secret, like Victoria's Secret, Citra, and Sabro.
Literally, it's more that we used to walk in there with their books. I didn't put so many people onto the book. Say, let's buy the book, no matter what state you in. You're in New York, buy the motor vehicle law book in New York.
And where you can get the book from?
Gold's Publishing. I think they changed the names. Gold's Publishing is Gould though, the way they spell it. But this one is from 2002. They don't change. The books don't change. I believe it's this year. I think it's yellow, if I ain't mistaken. But it don't change. The section is still there. You can even go on the internet and find it.
He's wrong on that.
You can go on the internet and look up 6309 Pennsylvania.
I mean, the laws don't change that much year to year, but they do change. There are always going to be amendments. There's always going to be addendums. They're not going to be completely rewritten from the ground up year over year. But I would say that my 2013 book of the New Jersey court rules probably has some significant significant changes since then in 2020.
In your motor vehicle law, Title 75. You can go through all these, these things to say, wait a minute, what do they mean by lane to a car? What do they mean by the registration to the car? Depositing waste on the highway.
Do you not know what registration is?
Wait a minute, that don't make sense.
Explain to everybody what you were talking about again with the two. Which one is the corporation? And
the city of Philadelphia. You got the city of Philadelphia and Philadelphia County, which is two different. The Philadelphia County is ancient. The city of is a corporation. City is a corporation.
No.
So when you get into
it's a municipal corporation, but it's not a private corporation. It's a municipal corporation that is a very distinct entity from your local McDonald's. I feel like I repeat myself every time I say it, but I feel like I have to say it, especially when it comes to Sabir.
In the law dictionary, it talks about the cities being municipal ancient, which is corporations. That's why you have municipal police, the municipal trash trucks. If you look at their tags on their car, it all says municipalities on the back of them. It's like it's a city within inside of a city. It's like it's a state within inside of a state. But one is basically a corporation. That's why you hear them say Pennsylvania State Police and State of Pennsylvania. You're talking about two different people. So, do you live in the city of Philadelphia or do you live in Philadelphia County? So, if I live in Philadelphia County, which is the ancient, how could the city of Philadelphia have jurisdiction over me unless I contracted some kind of way with the city of Philadelphia? So now I'm subject to the rules, regulations, and
No. You don't need a literal written contract instrument to be subject to the rules and regulations of the city of Philadelphia.
statutes of the city of Philadelphia. I don't work for them.
Doesn't matter. You're a resident.
Signing anything from the registration.
You're physically present when you were stopped by the cops. That's all it needs.
Registration cards are saying
Doesn't matter what you think. Doesn't matter what you interpret. What matters is what the law actually says and how it's interpreted by the judge and the prosecutor and your local representative.
I could put a paper in front of you and say, do you live in the city of Philadelphia? And somebody will put down there.
Thank you, Tate. I appreciate that, man.
We'll sign it. And then they shoot it out. So now you're subject to everything that Nutter's putting out.
And once you sign it, that's a contract.
It's a contract. Because now it's two types of signatures on that paper.
And then the contract becomes law.
Exactly. It's not really law, but they can't get involved in you signing that because it was voluntarily. That's why they say ignorance of the law is no excuse.
Well,
so
you agreed to it once you signed.
Exactly. You agreed to it. So now once you agree, they can't argue with you. You know, what you're arguing for. But nobody's really teaching people like.
And this is where they get this idea that once you surrender your license or surrender your birth certificate or surrender your social security number, suddenly that gets you out from any kind of obligations. Well, I severed all anything I signed with the government, you know, like I gave it all away, I gave it all back, then I'll have a contract. Like, no. You still gotta get a license to drive. Sorry.
What it really means, like, what do they really mean by?
See, the thing is, I operate on the practical application, real world, not your interpretation, Sabir, not your. Oh, look, it says this in Black's Law Dictionary. I look at what does the court say? What does the statutes of the state say? How do they define that? And they tell a different story than what you're telling them here.
You know, city of Philadelphia. What do they really mean by Philadelphia County? You know, how could
shout out to my 150 people watching right now. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Property without due process. Again, we don't claim it. We're not putting liens against who it is. So now, what it is that when we was younger, they say, I can turn 18, I can get a driver's license. Oh shoot, no problem. They get you while you're young. I can get a driver's, and nobody questions what a license is at all. That most people don't even know these cases exist because they're away from the public. You know what I mean? It's mad cases that said that you have a right to travel. You didn't need the driver's license. Nobody teaching the people the fundamental.
Where?
They're away from the public. You know what I mean? It's mad cases that said that you.
Which ones? Cite your sources, ass clown. Cite them.
You have a right to travel. You didn't need the driver's license.
Cite them.
Nobody teaching the people the fundamental principles of what a driver's license is. You know, the driver's license is a privilege. So it's like it's something that's granted to somebody. Yeah.
You're right. Driving is a privilege, not a right. And in order to drive within the Pennsylvania and every other state, you got to get a license. Doesn't matter if you're private or not operating in a commercial capacity.
Well, in law, probably in Webster's, it's going to almost say the same thing in law. But this is driver taken from Black's Law Dictionary too.
Again, I love how he goes to Black's Law Dictionary instead of Pennsylvania statutes, which say a very different story. Again, this is an example of him being willfully dishonest to his viewers, assuming that he actually read the entirety of the vehicle code as he claims. He knows that the definition of driver in Title 75 is different than what he's about to cite.
Now listen to this. It says a driver is one who's employed in conducting an
Told you.
operating a coach, carriage, or wagon, or other vehicle, or horses, or mules, or other animals, or bicycle, tricycle, or motor car.
He's a liar.
Railroad car. A person
You already saw. I already showed it to you guys.
Employed or by to drive or driving his own vehicle. What do they mean by that? If I was a hack or a person that's employed, I can use my car for a hack. I can be a taxi driver, which is nothing but a hack, but I'm picking up passengers. So it's a driver's number one. It says one who's employed. So if you're employed, I could be driving my own vehicle to transport people, like a chauffeur. That's what it is. So if you're conducting any kind of business like that, yes, you become a driver. And then you have passengers, because now passengers pay a fare. This is what the motor vehicle law said.
How much does Big Law pay me? Nothing. If anything, I pay them. I gotta pay Big Law $225 a year, and then on top of that, another $450. So I pay Big Law around $800 every 2 years.
So, but if you're not operating in a...
You need not have one.
Okay.
You need not have one. Yes, I said it, until they go do the research on it, because they might be looking at it and say, wait a minute, this guy's telling people to go out there not have a driver's license. No, I said go out there and go research this stuff. You know, go buy the motor vehicle law. Now, this is talked about the encumbrance on a certificate of title, right? And remember, I told you this is on there. It says,
blame it on New York and the pound of flesh I gotta pay just to retain my active license.
The term encumbrance has the distinguished from, and considered to be broader and more comprehensive than the.
Now he's citing Dayton. DeBrose versus City of Dayton, or City of Dayton versus DeBrose, which is, again, not dealing with the obligation of states, or the allowance of states to regulate the use of the public highways to both private and commercial individuals.
Term lien. However, the term lien is sometimes used as synonymous with the word encumbrance. On the
never mind. He's talking about liens and encumbrances. I thought I was talking about automobile and motor vehicle.
Property where
never mind.
There is neither just in re nor rem nor possession of a property. So what are they saying? The word lien is basically an interest in the property, but encumbrance can mean your title to your car, let's say your house, which is land and tenant, because if you read the certificate of title, it's also on it too. It talks about that inside it, but it's always in small print. So read every little small print that you see and look up everything that's on there. Every little small print, and research these things. When I was showing your father the title on registration, they had that thing in small print. People just sign it.
I literally just looked at my New Jersey title because I saw some of these things. I saw some of these videos before tonight. When my name is under owner. I own my car. 2 cars. I own my 2 vehicles. It says nothing about me being a lien holder to my cars. Nothing. He is lying to you.
Oh man, I own my car. Now I just showed you how you don't own your car. Your registration is not ownership. Certificate of title is not ownership.
It is!
So how do you own your car? You can never own the car, but you can have interest in it though. You cannot own it, you can just have interest in it. That's all everybody has, you know, they can get interest. You don't own your car, that's why they can take it, do what they want. If that be the case, you'll be filing complaints with the state attorney general about racketeering and, like I said, larceny and highway robbery.
Tell them how can they own the car?
The lien. You have to put a lien against it. It's on a certificate of title. I just showed 2 titles. I showed the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, and I showed New York's title.
This is the reason why I didn't want to put on the heart rate monitor, because I knew watching these videos back to back to back was going to do this to me.
Both of them actually will tell you. It's right there that you got to read. You have to read.
This is the same guy as yesterday, and he's also again. I think going to the idea that this guy is a charlatan, Deacon. I am fully expecting that this guy does have a valid passport and does have actual valid identification. I genuinely do not believe that he practices what he preaches, and that's why he's able to travel internationally. Because again, I think he's a con artist. He's a guru. He sells this for donations and money.
This one right here. This is Pennsylvania. And here I do it. New York's title.
Okay. What? Okay.
You got that one? Yep. This is New York.
I looked at my New Jersey license, and there is a second blank for a second lien holder. He's not focusing on the fact that my name or the other individual's name is underneath owner, not first lien holder.
And the viewers can pause it and read
See?
it themselves.
You have to do your own. You have to do your homework on all this information because. Oh, here you go. I brought it out. I brought it. Oh man, I thought I had this.
I know the whole Real ID Act, Deacon. That was like a year, 2 years ago. That was finally like put into effect.
This is talking about. Oh, I'm going to run this down. I thought I left it in the house. I found it.
There's no doubt in my mind that he's already gotten people arrested or thrown in jail for trying to practice what he claims to preach.
All right. This is some footnotes from the case as far as dealing with the car.
Okay.
All right. It says the operator of the vehicle then has 24 hours to appear before the appropriate judicial authority to produce the required documentation.
Right. Now he's quoting 69. Hold on. Let me put it back up here. He is quoting. Here we go. Oh, I should have had it up ahead of time. I apologize. Enforcement. There we go. Enforcement. Provisions. Yeah. When a vehicle is immobilized pursuant to Section 1A, may appear before a judicial authority within 24 hours, furnishing proof of registration and financial responsibility. Basically, if you show your proof of registration and your insurance, then you get your car back. So if you come in the next day, show that you own your car, you register your car, and you have proof of insurance.
Of financial responsibility and registration or valid driver's license under Title 75, Pennsylvania Consolidated Statute, subsection 6309.2. Now this is how it's being broken down. The statutory authority to tow a vehicle that is not properly registered contains a 24-hour grace period.
Yeah.
Now tell me, do they do that? No. It says the statutory authority to tow a vehicle that is not properly registered contains a 24-hour grace period that allows the vehicle operator or owner to demonstrate that the vehicle is indeed properly registered and insured, or that the operator is properly licensed. This appears to be the important element of law which satisfies due process. Remember, I just said that. Prevents the Commonwealth from improperly confiscating a person's property. See what it just said? So they dealing with due process. 24-hour period. Do you get 24-hour period? No, you do not. They take it right then and there. All right.
Hey!
All right. It says having to demonstrate the car was not towed in accordance with the statutory provisions.
Thank you very much, Scott, with a $30 super chat. Holy shit! Thank you very much, man. Thank you so much, Scott, for the $30 super chat. Much appreciated.
Wow. Both the trial court and the Commonwealth have claimed that the Section 3352 encompasses the community caretaking
Awesome, dude. Thank you.
Of the police that properly allowed the police to tow and search the vehicle. This notion was voiced by the Commonwealth versus Hennigan. All right, that's the name of the case. But there's a couple of things that I just want to run down.
Is this part 4 or part 5? Part 4. All right. After part 4 is done, I'm going to call it here.
There's no question that the General Assembly has granted the local government the authority to remove any abandoned or junk vehicles. See, your car is not abandoned nor is it junk. They have to be abandoned or junked vehicles, and that's under Title 53.
Oh my God.
Pennsylvania Statutes, subsection 46.
You moron.
202. The vehicles in question here, however, was neither abandoned nor junked. So the only way they're supposed to take your car directly off the street, it was abandoned or junked.
Wrong!
Listeners, tell me what they
Wrong, you asshole! Wrong! The very statute that you cited earlier says that the cops can impound your vehicle. This is, again, I'm repeating myself, but again, this is an example of Sabir being willfully dishonest. He's lying. He's lying to his audience.
That it says also go on. It is applicable throughout the Commonwealth. Thus, Norristown cannot enact.
I feel I gotta play some video games after this because I'm too worked up because of this bullshit.
Neither a local ordinance. Remember, I told you about the ordinance. It says it cannot enact neither a local ordinance or issue of a general order that limits the term of general applicable of 6309.2. Specifically, Norristown has no authority to withdraw or alter any of the various due process provisions provided by the legislators in section 6309.2, but which are not found in the general order. So, the city cannot do anything that they're doing if the General Assembly said this is what the law is. If the state law says this is what the law is. So what is happening? They're taking people's cars and under what's that section 53 of the Pennsylvania statutes. They're taking it saying it's junk cars or abandoned cars.
No, they're not. They're taking it under Title 75, 6309, 6309.1, or 6309.2, depending on the vehicle. And depending on why they are towing it. They're not taking it under Title 53 or whatever BS that you're citing at this point because you are a fucking moron and you're lying to your audience.
But they're not taking it under the 6309.3, 6309.1 or 2, which is dealing with due process. You have a 24-hour period. Then you go to court because you're supposed to immobilize the vehicle, not take it.
There it is. There's the lie. There's the lie. He thinks that 6309, 6309.1 and .2 only deal with immobilization, and he is lying to his audience where those 3 sections also say that the cops can tow your car. They can take your car under those sections, and he's lying to his fucking audience. That's what pisses me off about people like this, because he's making money off of lying to people. And who is his audience? People who probably can't afford to pay him the $75 fucking dollars for his generous time.
No, this thing get even deeper, man. There's some more cases in here. And it was funny because this was given to me by a prosecutor. It says, when a vehicle is immobilized to subsection A1, the operator of the vehicle may appear before the appropriate judicial authority within 24 hours from the time the vehicle was immobilized. The appropriate judicial authority may issue a certificate of...
Again, I like how he's citing the part about immobilization, but is ignoring the part where it talks about what happens when the car is towed. So again, I'm going to go back to 6309.2. He says B1, where it talks about immobilization. He ignores Section C, talks about procedure upon towing and storage. Here, so you guys can see it. That's what I'm talking about. Jesus. Towing and storage. Section C, he'll only talk about Section B, but pretends that Section C doesn't exist. That's where I'm getting that he's a liar and fucking dishonest. That's why he pisses me off.
Release. So they got to immobilize the vehicle, not take it. You got 24 hours. Right?
Right.
It says if a certification of release is not obtained within 24 hours from the time the vehicle was immobilized, the vehicle shall be towed, stored by the appropriate towing storage agency.
Under subsection C!
If the certification...
Under subsection C! He doesn't say that! He doesn't say that! I'm heated. I'm really fucking heated right now. I'm sorry. I'll be right back. I'm back.
Release is not obtained within 24 hours from the time the vehicle was immobilized. The vehicle shall be towed and stored by the appropriate towing and storage agent under subsection C. So what they're doing to people is they bamboozling the hell out of people.
So he's basically trying to create a narrative where the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, City of Philadelphia, what have you, are employing themselves into a scheme of illegally towing people's vehicles by trying to say that they're towing them under a different subsection other than the title which actually grants them that authority, and by improperly classifying the vehicle as abandoned or something. And then from there, they say, okay, they don't give them this due process of 24 hours, therefore we could just basically take the vehicle, tow it, and then sell it for profit. That's the scheme, is illegally taking people's vehicles and then selling it for profit.
And how were you able
you have a leather-bound books? Awesome.
Well, you got bogus commercials like, if you don't have insurance, your car can be confiscated. Insurance companies are private. So you're going to force somebody to get insurance? Look up the definition of insurance. It's an agency. They're trying to force somebody to contract with somebody. They don't force you to have life insurance. They don't force you to have fire insurance.
Right. Yeah, because life insurance, you're only fucking up, your next to kin, I guess. And you could also be single. Fire insurance, well, that's only for you. if it's only your house, your stuff that's going to go up in flames. But when you get car insurance, it's because if you fuck up and hit somebody, it's you who has to pay. That's why you are required to get insurance. This fucking guy.
They don't force you to have house insurance. So how they gonna force you to have
I'm pretty sure I'm required by law to have homeowners insurance.
car insurance? It's all one big scheme that's being done. Alright? It just talks about the impoundment. It says, a defendant motor vehicle may not be impounded for 24 hours. Now, this is what it is. A defendant motor vehicle may not be impounded for 24 hours after it is immobilized, so as to enable the owner to or operator of the immobilized motor vehicle which to appear in traffic court within 24 hours of this vehicle's immobilization furnish proof of registration and financial responsibility. Can we please get it? Because they might think I just made this up, bro.
Highlighted section.
Right there. They might think I just made this up. I want to get it even a little closer because they might think I made this up.
I'm not saying you make it up. I'm saying you have the fucking idiotic interpretation of what you're reading. Because again, a lot of these sovereign citizens operate on a false premise, and they build on a false premise with additional false premises and conclusions.
And they can pause it and read it.
And go to the top part where it says, where's it coming from?
Yeah, the procedure for selling a car if somebody doesn't pay for the registration and whatnot.
The Court of Common Pleas of Philadelphia County, Philadelphia Traffic Court, First Judicial Joint General Court Regulations, Court of Common Pleas and Traffic Court, number 98-1.
Now you tell me what they're doing to people. How can they take somebody's property straight off the street? Don't expect an attorney to take this.
Because attorneys know more than you do. And attorneys know better than to try bullshit legal arguments that aren't going to work. Because you're a fucking idiot.
They're not going to tell you this information right here.
They're going to tell you, you got this off somebody on the internet, and they don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
So they are in total... Man, let me.
And the judges and lawyers at traffic court, they all know this?
Do they? They supposed to know. They supposed to know this. Because that's what they're in there for. Hold on, let me find a RICO law.
Now he's reciting the RICO statutes, which is, I don't know why.
The RICO law is in here somewhere.
What is the RICO law?
Racketeering, Title 18.
Okay.
And what the police officers do every day. Hold up. I know I got it in this book. I know it's in Title 18.
I honestly feel like if I need to, I feel like after this on my Discord, I need to have a watch party. If I can find it available on one of the channels that I'm, streaming services I'm subscribed to, I feel like watching some Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law, just to get this out of my system. So you might find me there on Discord after this.
Title 18 of the United States Codes. I don't know if it's in this book, but it's the racketeering law. It may not be in this one. I think it's in another book, but it's in here somewhere. I know it is. It gotta be. But the racketeering law is actually basically it's talking about. Oh, here you go. RICO law. RICO law. It says racketeering influence of corrupt organization laws. Federal state designed to investigate, control, and prosecute organized crime under Title 18 of the United States Codes subsection 1961. Both criminal prosecution and civil action may be brought under the RICO statute. The RICO law prohibits any person from engaging in activities which activate interstate or foreign commerce.
Okay, that's the end of that. That's the end of part 4. I'm not going to continue with part 5, 6, or 7 tonight. I've had enough of him for tonight. Like I said, I was going to split this into 2. Nope. Unfortunately, I don't see Harvey Birdman on Netflix. I'm gonna have to find. It's probably on Amazon. Amazon Prime Video. Let me see if I can find it there. But yeah, that's what I'm going to end it here. You all see. I think I mean, despite my heatedness, despite me, having a quadruple ale, I think I showcased enough. Like, even when in the first 5 minutes, that Sabir Bey is a dishonest SOB. He does not. He is. If he truly has read Title 75 of the Vehicle Code for Pennsylvania, then he knows what driver means. He knows who is required to have a license. He knows what it means or what can happen if you are stopped and you do not have proper registration, insurance, or license. He knows that this theory of the right to travel does not work, which means that he's being dishonest. And I think, and I will give him enough credit to say that he's not an idiot in that regard. I will say that he knows that this doesn't work, but he is still selling it anyway. And he is still making money off of that. So that's where I am. I'm calling Sabir Bey out. That's what I came here to do. I'm gonna have a part 2 to finish up the parts 5, 6, and 7, and then we're going to see what happens and see if he actually is willing to be honest to his audience. So thank you guys. Like I said, I am going to check. Liz says Harvey Birdman's on Hulu. Perfect. I think I have a subscription to Hulu. I'm probably going to be on Discord. Check me out there if you haven't already. We'll just have like a watch party. I'll share my screen and we can watch it together. Because right now, Sabir Bey got me really heated because of his ignorance and because of his foolishness. So check me out there. Have a good one. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you, Matrix, for donating like $120. I mean, sure, why not? Thank you to all my new members. Thank you to all my other super chatters. Scott, thank you so much for the $30. Thank you, Richard, Trevor, for joining in as members. Have a good night, guys. Take care. Adios. Stay safe. Dios mío.